What if I told you that before you even brush your teeth, before your feet ever hit the floor, your brain is already deciding whether today will feel focused or foggy, productive or reactive, energized or exhausted? Stick around because today's mental workout includes 8 strategies to help you win the morning mental game so you can win the day. Welcome to the Mental Weight Room, where we train the brain just like you train your body. I'm Coach Antoinette, and today we're talking about how the first 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up shape your focus, energy, mood, and mental performance for the next 12 hours. We're diving into the neuroscience behind your wake up routine, why your brain craves automatic habits, and 8 brain-supported strategies to help you stop starting your day in survival mode. Because if you can win the morning mental game, you win the day. Let's get into it. Most people have heard the phrase, win the morning, win the day. But today, I want to explain why that's actually true from a brain science perspective. When you wake up in the morning, your brain experiences what's called the cortisol awakening response. Now, cortisol gets a bad rap because we associate it with stress, anxiety, and feeling overwhelmed. But cortisol is not inherently bad. In fact, a healthy level of cortisol is your body's natural alarm clock. It helps you wake up, it increases alertness, and it prepares your brain and body to transition from sleep mode into performance mode. Research shows that cortisol naturally peaks about 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up. And that window matters more than most people realize, because during that period, your brain is essentially calibrating itself for the rest of the day. Your alertness, your focus, your emotional regulation, your mental clarity, your energy. The way you spend that first 30 to 45 minutes has the power to make or break the next 12 hours. If you optimize that window with good habits, the rest of your day feels smoother. If you sabotage it with bad habits, you spend the entire day fighting an uphill battle. So let's talk about what your brain actually needs during the first 30 to 45 minutes. I've got 8 strategies supported by what we know about the brain and nervous system to help you create a morning mental routine that primes your brain for success. Number 1, get natural light exposure. Your brain needs light to fully wake up. Getting sunlight within the first 30 minutes of waking up helps reset your circadian rhythm, suppresses melatonin, and regulates cortisol appropriately for alertness and energy. Translation: you feel less groggy, more awake, more mentally sharp. Even just 10 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight exposure can improve your mood, your energy, your sleep quality later in the day, and focus throughout the rest of the day. And if you wake up before the sun rises, get out of bed and turn on lights immediately. Darkness tells your brain to stay sleeping. Light tells the brain it's time to get up and perform. Number 2, hydrate immediately. Your brain is about 75 to 80% water, and after a full night's sleep, you wake up dehydrated. When dehydration happens, blood flow to the brain decreases, neurons don't fire as efficiently, and of course, that means cognitive performance drops. Your reaction time's slow, your focus weakens, so one of the simplest mental performance habits you can build is this: drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up. Before caffeine, before breakfast, before scrolling on your phone, before chaos hits, hydration improves mental clarity almost immediately. Number 3, practice mindfulness for 5 minutes. Right before you fall asleep and right after you wake up are 2 of your brain's most receptive periods. This is an incredible time for prayer, meditation, breathwork, journaling, gratitude, setting intentions. Even 5 intentional minutes of mindfulness can regulate your nervous system and shift your brain from reactive mode into focused mode. Number 4, this is a big one. Avoid your phone for the first 30 to 45 minutes. This bears repeating, so I'll say it again. Avoid your phone for the first 30 to 45 minutes you're awake. Studies consistently show that the overwhelming majority of people check their phones almost immediately after waking up. And younger adults and athletes are especially vulnerable because of social media habits, messaging apps, recruiting communication, and performance comparison culture. I call this the phone problem, and here's why. When you immediately start scrolling, your brain gets a dopamine hit, but this isn't productive dopamine. This is reactive dopamine, scattered dopamine. Your brain instantly enters reaction mode. It's fragmented instead of intention mode. And now, before your feet ever touch the ground, your nervous system is already overstimulated and your brain never gets a chance to stabilize. Notifications, videos, messages, drama, comparison, and athletes, listen carefully here. Comparison is mentally exhausting. Seeing someone else's highlights, rankings, offers, commits, training clips, or success first thing in the morning can immediately hijack your confidence and your focus. Instead of beginning the day with intention, you begin it reacting to everybody else's agenda. So, protect your focus, protect your peace, protect your brain, put down the phone. Number 5, move your body. Movement is one of the fastest ways to wake up the brain. Exercise and movement improve blood flow, oxygen delivery, heart health, and mental clarity. But there's another huge benefit to moving early in the morning. It stimulates the release of BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF like fertilizer for the brain. It helps your brain cells grow, communicate, adapt, and strengthen. It supports learning, memory, focus, good regulation, neuroplasticity. In other words, movement literally helps your brain become bigger, stronger, and more efficient. You do not need a 2-hour workout. Take a walk, stretch, do a little bit of mobility work, 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, a quick lift, a short jog, jumping jacks. Just move. Number 6, cold exposure. Exposing yourself to cold first thing in the morning sounds miserable until you understand what it does neurologically. Exposure to cold stimulates the release of norepinephrine, and norepinephrine increases alertness, focus, and attention, while also helping to reduce inflammation, which is essential for recovery. And this can be as simple as splashing cold water on your face, a cool rinse at the end of your shower for 30 seconds, or stepping outside into brisk air for a few moments. And you kill 2 birds with 1 stone if the sun's out. Anyway, cold exposure from 30 seconds to 3 minutes can help wake up your nervous system and improve alertness for the entire rest of the day. Number 7, don't hit the snooze button. 1 alarm, 1 wake up, no snooze button. Why? Because when you hit the snooze button and fall back to sleep, your brain begins entering another sleep cycle. Then the alarm interrupts it again. Now your brain feels fragmented and disoriented, which explains why sometimes after multiple snoozes, even though you've caught a couple of extra winks, you somehow feel worse instead of better. Athletes need energy and coordination, and fragmented sleep does not help either one. If you struggle with this, put your alarm clock across the room and force yourself to get up. Stop negotiating with your alarm clock for a few extra winks, because every morning you either train discipline or you train delay. And finally, number 8, build an automatic sequence. This is where it gets really interesting. Researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology found that the basal ganglia, which is the part of the brain that is heavily involved in habit formation, actually bundles repeated behaviors together into automatic sequences. In simple terms, this means the more consistently you repeat a healthy morning routine, the less willpower it eventually requires. Your brain starts automating the process. Wake up, water, light, prayer or meditation, movement, stretch. Over time, it becomes a habit loop, automatic, effortless, and efficient. This is important because high performers do not rely on motivation every morning. No, motivation comes and goes. They rely on discipline and systems because systems reduce mental fatigue. So here's your challenge this week. Write out your morning wake-up routine, not your ideal routine, your actual, intentional, sustainable wake-up routine. Keep it simple. Keep it realistic. Keep it repeatable. Then commit to doing it every day for the next 30 or 60 days. And pay attention to what changes. I guarantee it'll be your focus, your energy, your mood, your confidence, your productivity, your emotional regulation. Because the quality of your mornings eventually become the quality of your life. And remember, mental toughness is not built in giant moments. It's built in repeated daily decisions, including the very first ones you make each morning. Thanks for joining me in the mental weight room today. If this episode helped you, challenged you, or gave you something to think about, click like, drop a comment, share it with a teammate, athlete, or coach, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a mental workout. And if you're ready to master your mindset and build the mental strength you need to perform at your best, both in sports and in life, scan the QR code right here or type AntoinetteDatoc.com, that's ANTOINETTEDATOC.com, in your browser to visit my website and click on Book a Free Session. This is Coach Antoinette signing off, and until next time, keep training your brain like you train your body and keep pushing your limits.